How y'all doing? Welcome back, episode number 2. We're in the first week of August. Time to get ready for your lawn renovations. I'm actually going to do a soil test this weekend. I tell you what, July was dry. Everyone's lawn has checked out except for ours. We've managed to get through a lot of the heat stress and drought conditions that we had. So being a homeowner for the past 20 years and taking care of our lawn for all of that time, you can say that I'm not a beginner, right? I'm not an amateur when it comes to lawn care, but I'm not a professional by any means. To be honest, I'd say for the most part, I've spent pretty much the minimum. I wouldn't say the bare minimum, but closer to the bare minimum than being completely obsessed about my lawn. I've always been somebody that has paid attention to doing the basic things. I'm a true believer in working smarter and not harder, but I'm also a believer that you don't have to drop a bunch of money into something to make maybe not the optimum best, but you can still make the best out of it. And I will tell you, I have one of the greenest lawns in the neighborhood. And it's just because, doing the right things, right? Timing is everything. We only water 1 inch per week. I'll dial that back if we get enough rain. So it's really, again, working smarter, not harder. But the fertilization, obviously, the weed control that we do, those are things that are going to be able to help be efficient with what you're doing. And a couple of the things that I've done this year that have been outside or above and beyond what my normal lawn care routine is, I realized have made a difference, a noticeable difference in the performance of the lawn. So that, just a couple of things alone that I did this year really got me excited and led to me creating a full year lawn care program for 2025. And I'm going to go through all of those steps and put those on the channel so that you guys can see that with just a few extra little things here and there, if you do want to kind of take it up to the next level, you can do that. Enough of that. Let's get back on the subject. Over the past week, we had about 1.5 inches of rain. And if you have a healthy lawn, weeds have less of a challenge of getting in, but you're going to continue to have weeds even in those hotter months because the lawn's stressing out and it gives more opportunity for weeds to come in. But luckily, with a healthy lawn, you're going to be able to choke out a lot of the weeds, but you're still going to have those weeds that will be very persistent. We have a paver driveway, and there are weeds that make their way into between the pavers. There's nothing that we can do about that other than to put some sort of herbicide on there. Now, I have an herbicide that I use on the lawn that takes care of just about every weed. I really have good luck with this stuff. It takes care of dandelions, crabgrass, even thistle, very well. Clover, not so well. And then there is one particular weed that has been driving us crazy. And even though I don't like to use chemicals as much as possible, knowing that, the fertilizers and stuff that we use are, synthetic fertilizers, I am starting to get into the organic route a little bit. But the point of the matter is that, we try to stay away from chemicals as much as possible. But there are things that we still use chemicals for. And this one weed that would not die under this stuff, I'll show you a clip where I've got this weed that's showing up. And after 2 applications of this stuff on this weed, it would not die. This is 3 days after the second application, and it's still sticking around. You can try pulling these by hand, but what I've found is I actually tried that initially, and they would just multiply. So it turns out that these things actually shed seeds when you pull on them. So that's not really an option, right? So I came up with an idea, and I wanted to share this with you guys because this is something that you can do to identify any weed so that you can understand what it will take to eliminate that weed selectively, because the whole goal here is that you don't want to affect your regular grass. Now, one of the things that we were doing to take care of this weed problem that we were having is using glyphosate, right? Roundup. That's a challenge. If you get overspray into the yard, it can create brown spots in your yard, whether it's overspray or you accidentally track into the yard before it dries. Those are going to be issues that you're going to have by using glyphosate. Now, there are certain areas that when I start doing a renovation this fall on a particular spot in my backyard, I'm actually going to use this technique that I'm going to share with you guys on that as well. So this is the method that I use. What I did is I found out about something called Google Lens. Now, if you're on Google Lens, you'll see that there is a camera icon up here, and that will allow you to open up Google Lens. So clicking on that takes you to your Google app, and then it allows you to take a picture of anything, and then it will identify it and try its best to cross-reference it. So you can see there's this prostrate sand mat. It's also known as spurge. So then I took that name and I copied it into my phone, but then I went down, and then you can also go down here to the Wikipedia, and you can actually see more about that weed and get an idea of what that weed will, what it's about, and the different things about that weed. But then going in here, I paste that into Google so that I could see what kind of herbicide I can use, and there you go, Surge Power, the first thing that showed up on the list. So what did I do? Your boy bought some Surge Power. I ended up getting this stuff. I mixed it into a tank sprayer per the specifications in the label. And I applied this to the spurge, and guess what, guys? It wiped it out. It did a great job. I even had luck with this on clover. It actually does a really good job on clover. In fact, it does have on the label that it controls dandelions, chickweeds, clover, oxalis, spurge, wild violet, and many other broadleaf weeds. So, I can use this maybe in combination with this stuff if I'm having trouble weeds like clover. But the fact of the matter is, guys, is that, look at what it did to the spurge after putting this down. It was a game changer for me. We no longer have to worry about affecting our lawn with herbicide by doing selective treatments of these weeds that we are dealing with. And it's just a really good way for you guys to protect all of the hard work that you're putting into your lawn to have a nice lawn and not affected with herbicide treatments on weeds. What a game changer, right? Think about it, guys. This is timeless. There could be a brand new weed that is introduced to your lawn that you've never seen before, and you don't have a way to control it. Simple, Google Lens. So that's how you identify and take out any weed in your lawn with a selective herbicide without harming your lawn. I hope you guys found this helpful. If you have any ideas or questions or comments, please feel free to drop those in the comments below. Like, share, and subscribe, and please tune in for the next one, where we're going to continue to go over the lawn care regimen that I am going to be using for the remainder of this year, but mainly in 2025. I am going to start implementing some of the 2025 schedule for the fall of 2024. So I will be sharing that with you as well. So I'll see you in the next video. Take care.